How's it going, everybody? CJ here. Back into the video. We're doing the first thoughts today. This first thought is on Mila, Crafty Companion, and Lukka, Wayward Bonder. Before we hop into it, though, remember, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're getting super close to 800. Come on, let's hit 800. Down below, we got a TCG player affiliate link. If you can buy any cards that I talk about in this video, buy them through there. Helps out the channel. We got the Patreon if you want to support the channel. We got the Discord if you want to chat with us. We've got the Twitch and the Twitter down below. And what else do we got? We got my Pokemon channel linked down below. If you guys want to help me choose my starter. Basically, this weekend I'm going to stop doing that. Stop pitching it. But come on, down below. Help me choose my starter. And we're going to hop into this. So, Mila, Crafty Companion, and Lukka, Wayward Bonder. At first, I was looking at Mila and I was like, it seems pretty bad. I don't know what you... Well, I mean, it's a good card. It's definitely a strong card, but it doesn't seem great as a commander. But then I kept going into it and I was like, oh, Boros Super Friends could be solid. And there's actually some cool stuff you can do with this deck. And then, Lukka is cool. Lukka's got a lot going on. Like, Boros reanimator seems sweet. So we're gonna start off with Mila, Crafty Companion, the cards that are specifically good for Mila. So, as I said, Boros Super Friends is probably the best way to build Mila as a commander. You can throw in some of the planeswalkers that are in Boros colors include Nahiri, Elspeth, Gideon, Chandra, Sarkhan, Ajani, Rowan, and then of course Ugin and Karn. All of the, so you can just load the deck up with different versions of those planeswalkers and go nuts. And some specific cards that I think would be good inside of this deck include, you got Yakalhops, because it doesn't destroy planeswalkers, so you can destroy everything but keep a board of planeswalkers and win the game that way. That's good use of land destruction. You've got Oath of Gideon, so that way your planeswalkers get an additional loyalty counter. Arena Rector, so you can tutor planeswalkers out of your deck. Jeru with Eyes Open, so you can also tutor. Same thing with Call the Gatewatch and Ignite the Beacon. You get Grateful Apparition, so that way you can proliferate. Same thing with Contagion Engine. Thalia's Lancers is another tutor. Mingara the Diplomat, additional protection, so if your opponents attack your planeswalkers and you get to draw cards. You got Deploy the Gatewatch just to get some planeswalkers into play. And Interplanar Beacon, just a very good land for any Super Friends deck. And just board wipes. Any board wipes that don't blow up planeswalkers seem great in this deck. You can just load the deck up with mass land destruction. You can load the deck up with mass everything destruction, the Minerals disc, stuff like that. And your planeswalkers stick around. Like anything that doesn't blow up planeswalkers, you're good. If it blows up everything besides planeswalkers, it's perfect. Like Yakalhops. Just keep blowing everything up and just ticking your planeswalkers up and win the game through your walkers. It seems like a very strong game plan. And the only other card I wanted to talk about with Mila is Deflecting Swat. Just because it has a small synergy with Mila's second ability. So if somebody targets one of your good creatures, you can Deflecting Swat it to one of your bad creatures or bad permanents or something. So that way you still get the card draw trigger, but it gets rid of something that you don't really care about. Just an interesting synergy. It's not very good, but it's an interesting synergy. Now we're going to talk about the cards that are good with Lukka. So, there's going to be a very creature-heavy deck, and you're going to be wanting to dump creatures into your graveyard, so that way you can reanimate them. And so, some of the cards that you can use to dump creatures in your graveyard include, like, Cathartic Reunion, Faithless Looting, Tormenting Voice, and Thrill of Possibility. All these make you discard cards to draw cards, so they're very on theme. You've got what I think is the best self-mill card to put inside any self-mill deck, Mesmeric Orb. Super powerful card. You can even throw in Basalt Monolith if you want to, so that way you can tap and untap that an infinite number of times. So you can mill your deck until you hit a certain card that you need. You got Heartwarming Redemption, which is a pretty cool card. You've got all the wheels, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Misfortunes, I am so bad at remembering the wheels. Just like any wheels work. I'll probably have a couple on the screen. And like Winds of Change, any wheels, they'll be on the screen. Maybe I'll put more wheels now, if there are. But stuff like that, just stuff that lets you draw cards by discarding cards, seems very good in this deck. And I mean, it's also what Lukka's +1 is, so it's very synergistic. And then some cards you can add in for Reanimator. You can throw in God Pharaoh's Gift. You can throw in Sun Titan, Rhea Dawnbringer, which is also a really good creature to reanimate. Feldon of the Third Path. You've got Emiria Shepherd. You've got Miraculous Recovery, Breath of Life, Resurrection, and Emiria the Sky Ruin. All of those seem like good reanimation cards, especially in Boros reanimation. They seem great. Lukka does have reanimation on him, but it is until your next upkeep and then you exile the cards. So some of these are a little better than that. But, I mean, it's just synergy. Like, they just work well in the deck. And next I want to talk about some targets to reanimate. Some good stuff that you can reanimate to screw over your opponents. And I'm mostly going to be talking about stuff that works well with Lukka's reanimation clause. So cards that will stick around until your next upkeep. So they're going to have cards that leave behind a benefit or do something when they attack or do something at the beginning of your upkeep, stuff like that. So we got Italia Primal Storm, so you can get some cards off of it. You got Gisela, so you can Alpha Strike. Blightsteel Colossus, so you can just kill somebody. Elish Norn, so you can pump up your team and probably kill off a lot of your opponent's creatures. It That Betrays, because it's got the Annihilator trigger, and you'll be able to steal whatever they sacrifice. Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, just eat a lot of their deck. Desolation Twin, it'll leave behind a 10/10. Meosion of Infinite Rage, I believe this one is Land Destruction. I am almost positive this one's Land Destruction, but I did not bring it up. Yes, Land Destruction, which seems good in these style decks because you're not going to be using your mana that much. You're going to be, like, after Lukka's in the battlefield, you don't even need to be casting spells if you're just going in and out of your graveyard. Blazing Archon, you can use it to protect yourself because it goes away at the beginning of your next upkeep. So, like, you can reanimate it, swing with it, whatever. And then your opponents can't attack you until your next upkeep when Blazing Archon leaves. So that gives you a full turn cycle of protection. Seems like a good include. Phyrexian Triniform just gives you some tokens when it leaves. Same thing with the Wormcoil Engine. All seem like very good cards. Next I just want to talk about some one-off cards that work really well with Lukka. You got Flair of the Hatebound. You got a lot of creatures coming from your graveyard into play, so that's going to be triggering a lot of times. Plus has Persist, which is cool. Sneak Attack, so that way you can basically, you can sneak attack something into play, swing with it, then the next turn Lukka it back into play. That's a very strong synergy, and it's like a very, very, very powerful discard outlet. And then I'll hammer its Archive, so you can draw extra cards off Lukka's Plus. That seems like a very good synergy. And lastly, I just want to talk about a couple of cards that work very well in both decks. Both of them are going to be Planeswalker related because Super Friends and Lukka. You got the Chain Veil, so you can Lukka twice, or you can do all your Planeswalkers twice. And then Carnage Bastion, just to proliferate if you have extra mana lying around. Seem good. So that's what I got for Mila and Lukka. Very exciting commanders. This seems very cool. I like the way that they're doing Boros in this set. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.